Knuckledust started out in 1996 and from the very beginning were constantly putting in the work, both playing and putting on shows for local and touring bands alike. After striking up a friendship with UK legend Stamping Ground, the band were offered a slot supporting Warzone at the Underworld in London when another of the supporters pulled out. This was huge for Pelbu as he'd been contacting everyone he could to try and get the band over just to see them, let alone play with them. In 1997 the band released their first demo, London Hardcore, and a split with Manchester's Area Effect, which turned into Eruption Records' second release, the first being Area Effect's first EP. Knuckledust have travelled all over Europe and played the US a few times, cementing them as one of the most well-known and respected UK hardcore bands. Rucktion Records is a DIY London record label which started out in 1996 to, as they say, help bands to help themselves. Rucktion has released over 60 records from bands all across the world, including Knuckledust, Stout, Billy Club Sandwich, Special Move, 9 Bar, 6 Foot Ditch, Wisdom and Chains, TRC and many more. Rucktion consists of Pierre, Poppy and many friends that help them out. As well as their own releases, they also have a huge distro which is always proudly on display at shows Rucktion bands are playing. Knuckledust bassist Nicky plays in 9 Bar and Argy Bargy. Ray also plays in Argy Bargy. Weema plays in Ironed Out and they've just released their debut LP We Move As One on GSR Music. Pierre has played in Beatdown Fury, Bun Dem Out, Maldito, and he's also in a new project called Borstal, which consists of members of Brugera, Dripback and King of Pigs.
Yeah, Nicky, Waymo and Ray, they went. They all grew up in East London and Beckton area, so they went to school together and learnt the instruments and whatnot there, I guess. They had a band called Mental Torment going with Danny Evans, our friend Danny Evans from East London.
Oh, okay.
And it's a bit more metal-y, crossover sounding thing. Yeah. But I think at the time I was trying to start a band as well. I just got the bug, got fed up. I got fed up because there was nothing happening really, like show-wise of bands that I wanted to see, that I was into, the sound that I was into, which was mainly like New York hardcore and stuff. So I was advertising to start bands, looking for band members and that. And I come across a few people with similar tastes and that. Some older guys as well, but they're always like telling me, oh, can you try and sing like Ray Capo or like this? And I'm thinking, I can't really try and sing like anything because I've never sang before. I don't know what I'm going to sound like. I don't know how to sing. You know, I'm just going to do my thing and then see how it goes, innit? And so yeah, it didn't work out with a few of these people, but I remember I put up a flyer in a record shop in central London in Soho, and then I get a phone call from Weimar. He's like, yeah, we saw your flyer and we're into the same sort of bands that you mentioned in it. Do you want to come down and practice and do a try for our band or whatever? So I said, alright then. Pop down to East London from here, which was distance back then without the Jubilee Line extension and shit, you know what I mean? It was like mad going to Beckton. And we just got on, and luckily we're all the same age range, which was kind of, you know, a blessing. So, and we're all pretty relaxed people, you know what I mean? The characters are we're all pretty similar, you know. We don't take ourselves too seriously, let's say. so we just had fun with it. We used to practice in this. There was a church, St. Mark's Church. They had like a youth centre on the side of it, and they let us practice in there for free.
Oh, sick.
They stored the equipment and everything in there. But it was like in the middle of a housing estate, so you got like all the local little kids just coming up to the window when they hear the band playing. They're like, "What's that noise?" And they're all coming up looking through the window, like, "Open the window!" Knocking on, let us in, let us in. And if you make the mistake of opening the window, they'd come in and they'd steal everything. You know what I mean? And like, I was just sitting there because obviously I'm not from that part of town and never really been around there. And I was just sitting in the corner of the room just watching this, and they know some of these kids obviously growing up with them, and they wouldn't really bother me. Because I guess they didn't recognise me, and I was just there in the background, sort of just watching. So they left me alone, and I just watched them. And they were just so rowdy, these kids, and I think some of them grew up to be 50 caliber in the end as well. So.
Makes sense.
Yeah, totally. So something's in a change, and we used to practice there for a while, a good few years, and I used to go there like twice a week from up these ways. So. We kind of progressed pretty fast, doing 2 practices every week and that, and just started playing beginning in, what was it, 96, I guess, not long after. And that was it really. Yeah, it was mainly from the advert in a record shop. Because back then there was a couple of spots. They had Rough Trade in Ladbroke Grove, off Portobello Road. And they always used to have like the odd little hardcore CD or something.
Yeah.
And there was a old school punker outside who had his table full of tapes that used to trade or whatever or copy up, like live sets and stuff. So he would be picking up Cro-Mags, Agnostic Front live sets and stuff, which is pretty good. And then obviously I think it was called Selector Disc.
Oh, okay.
The one in Soho where I used to put the flyers up, and they used to have a little hardcore section as well. So it's one of them things because there weren't many people into it. But obviously I didn't know who they were and they didn't know who I was. But obviously we must have been going to the same record shops trying to get the CDs as soon as they were coming in before each other brought them out. So then when we met up with each other, then you actually do exchange like collections or whatever, CDs and whatnot. They were fucking loving it, man. I was giving them so much shit that they never heard of, like, because I was sending money to America constantly to like order 7-inches and CDs of like obscure bands that I'd heard the name mentioned in some guest in the thanks list on the back of a CD or something. And I was trading tapes as well with some people from Ireland and up north, and they had like proper big back catalogues of just hardcore shit, man, you know. So they were loving it, mate, and that's probably why they kept me in the band, because I was just hooking them up with music constantly, and we just worked out really, you know what I mean.
Interesting side note, the record store Pierre mentioned, Selectadisc, can be seen on the left hand side of Oasis' second album, What's the Story, Morning Glory.
Yeah, definitely. That was the roots of it. And then 17 Stitches at the same time as well were like a more punkier band. And we were more of a hardcore band with a bit of punk, and they were more of a punky band with a bit of hardcore sort of thing. So we played together. Those boys being from West London as well, we just clicked instantly, you know what I mean? What with a punk attitude and shit. And us, them, 9 Bar, that was basically the roots of that LBU thing. Yeah, we used to play everywhere, man. Squats, punk shows, metal shows. You know, back then, there wasn't just a hardcore scene or a metal scene or a punk scene. Then we just had to play together, and it worked, you know. Mix crowds, mix everything. The vibes was always good. But I guess for us it was always about the violent dancing, to be honest. Even from the early days, because that's the music we listened to. And that's why we listened to it, because we like to dance violently. Like we were into it, you know what I mean? Kung fu, crazy shit. But as it does, it alienates some people as well, you know. And back then we didn't give a fuck anyway. Just kids, innit? So we're just getting mad and releasing the energy that we had too much of, all that aggression, and it was positive for us. So you know, but basically that's why we wanted to make music. Wanted to hear that shit. Bit hyperactive as a kid. Lots to get off my chest as well, I think. I mean, my family growing up, then they were always arguing. My mum and dad were always arguing. Like, they really struggled. My dad was working hard, you know, coming from another country. They're trying to build something here, get a mortgage. Eventually, we were living in some council houses at first. And my dad, just from hard work, just managed to get a mortgage. Then we moved to this area from Holloway, where I was born. And we're in Neasden now, northwest. Must have been about, I don't know, 8 years old when I moved to this area. And they struggled, you know, to support each other, I guess, emotionally and stuff, and we're always arguing, but never split up. There was times they might split up and then get back together again, but it was never a smooth thing for them. And for me, as a young guy, I didn't really want to see that in my house, and my dad was quite loud with it as well. He wasn't violent or anything, but he had a loud voice when he got pissed off, you know what I mean? So I was like, I just get out of the house, you know. And the hardcore music, when I found that, kind of give me that space to, you know, go and, you know, in a way build my own confidence. Do something that I enjoyed doing. I was doing a lot of the cut and paste stuff, flyers and newsletters and stuff. So it just kept me busy, really. Kept my mind busy. Give me something to focus on. Even to this day, you know what I mean? You know, I feel blessed that I can play in bands and write whatever I want to get off my chest, that no one can tell me nothing, you know what I mean? I write exactly what I fucking want. And when I'm singing it, then that's my therapy, mate. You know what I mean? Like, it's for a lot of people, but yeah, I'm lucky I stumbled across it because God knows where I'd be without it.
Yeah.
You know, I was saying to someone the other day, before I was in a band, I never left London.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm blessed to have been a lot of places around this planet now and met a lot of good people who are my good friends for years and just from making this noise, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's the best teacher really, innit? Experience, going out to other places and learning from other cultures and other scenes. Obviously for us the foundation was the hardcore, so we're going out to other countries, checking out their hardcore scenes, and the hardcore scene in general is pretty open-minded, you know what I mean? It was best teacher for us. I mean, yeah.
So were you born here then?
Yeah, I was born here.
So how long had your mum and dad been across in the UK before you came along?
Maybe a year.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I think she came over the year before I was born. Well, my mum was working over here for looking after some rich people's kids. They brought her over from Peru. And my dad was travelling around Europe at the time, and he came to London. He met some friends here or whatever. They met my mum and stayed. So, you know, so I was quite lucky that they both met here, being that they're both Peruvian. A year later I was born. It's mainly when Knuckledust and Ninebar got together, I think we just got our heads together, and as we were doing like the DIY thing, it just seemed like a natural progression to put out a record. Yeah. And we started with Black Up Records. That's what we called it first. And Skinny Tom Ninebar and that funded it at the time, and done all the artwork because all those guys were studying graphic design or some art stuff. They done all the artwork and wanted to put out the Knuckledust Area Effects split. Yeah. So we banged that out, and that went alright, I guess. There's still some floating around. So I don't think we pressed any major amounts or anything, but you know what I mean, we did it. We did it all ourselves, so we're pretty chuffed, you know what I mean? And it looks alright. And then from there, kind of rolled on to putting out the Area Effects CD, because we were tight with them boys and we wanted to help them as well, and we liked them a lot. So yeah, when we started to do the CD side of things, I come up with the name Rucktion, and it just kind of rang with records in it. So we decided to call it Eruption Records, and then focus all the energy on just putting out more stuff like that. You know what I mean? And at the time after we put out that mini CD for Area Effect, Special Move would come into our life as well, and we were tight with them boys from Essex. So it was just felt natural to just put them out as well, you know. At the time I started working with them. We had 6 Foot Ditch in Portsmouth, because I think a couple of Ninebar boys used to study at uni in Portsmouth, so they knew the 6 Foot Ditch guys. Oh, okay. They'd organise shows down there as well, so we'd go down there, meet them, and you know, eventually put their CDs out as well. Then we always had the Croydon connection from the cartoon and stuff, and putting out Diction, Hellbent Die Hard, stuff like that. So yeah, it just naturally kind of grew. You know what I mean? There was never really a mission plan or, you know, a goal that we had to reach or anything, but we were just happy just putting out our own CDs, and you know, didn't make much money, but we weren't expecting to, at least, you know. It was just nice to have it, physical thing to hold, and you know.
So it was always just kind of like, for Rucktion was always just kind of like mates and bands you played with and stuff that you put out. You didn't ever kind of like reach out to any bands that you'd kind of like heard otherwise, and a bit
very rarely.
Yeah.
A couple on occasion, like some foreign bands that we've worked with that we haven't really grown up with, sort of thing. But most of the releases have been more or less people we're tight with, or you know, we played with. We expanded a little bit with some foreign bands like Stout. It's mainly because Matty heard the Stout CD and he was into it big time, so he approached them about like getting it pressed on Rucktion, and they were down, so he did that, and that just worked out like well for them and for us, I think. Europeans love that shit. Yeah. No CD's fucking wicked, so. Yeah, because I remember I used to trade tapes with some people from Indonesia. And they'd tell me all about these things happening, like the police have raided their show, taken all their equipment, now they've got nothing, but yeah, they carry on, find another way, and it was blowing my mind, you know what I mean? As a kid, I was just like, wow, we got it easy here, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't even make no noise out there, you get arrested. It's like, fuck. But yeah, I used to trade with them bands, and yeah, obviously when Knuckledust first come out, we had a demo tape, and the thing I wrote on it was, copy and circulate yourself if you want. You know, I was telling people, sell it for £1 so you can make your money back from the photocopy and the cassette that you spent, and that I don't care, you know what I mean? And if you want, just hand them out.
Yeah.
Not expecting people to do it, but people started doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd go to festivals like with box of tapes and I'd just giving them out for free and that, and then from there people would be distributing them themselves and stuff. So that really helped us get our name out. And sending them to Indonesia and places like that, and they'd do the same, you know, Russia and other places, other countries, and Poland and that. They'd do their own versions and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty mad. It taught me a lot. Yeah, I used to know some people, man. They had some lists, like serious lists, man. Like it was like that, a pamphlet, A4 papers, just full of different names of bands and releases and that. So yeah, I was going crazy with that shit, mate. And sending people stuff as well, so yeah, I built my back catalogue up pretty quickly. Yeah. And then obviously all the boys would get everything that I got as well, so yeah, we learnt a lot of shit quick. Yeah, it's a lot easier nowadays, like I say, it's all on the internet, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyone can be an expert in an hour or two, just flicking through a little web page or whatever with all the info and all the tracks. But yeah, back then it was a struggle, yeah. We had some big record shops in town, like HMV on Oxford Street, and there was a Virgin Megastore in Piccadilly, or Tower Records, I think it was back then. And they used to get import CDs sometimes, you'd find stuff. But the big thing was Lost and Found Records, the German label. Oh, okay. They used to put out a lot of bootleg stuff, from what I understand. But otherwise we wouldn't get it. Yeah. So we didn't have a problem with it at the time, we were just kids anyway, so I think I was working at some place. I was working at Wembley Stadium at the time, doing football matches and concerts and that. Oh, yeah. And after that, I was just like pocketing so much money from that place at the time. And after that, I was going straight to HMV and just spending all the money on CDs. So I was coming home with stacks of CDs like this, just like all the imports and all the Lost and Found stuff, like every week almost. And like, I remember that period. I must have made HMV a lot of money. Yeah, I know what you mean. There's a certain vibe there, innit? Yeah, a certain way that they play it, or you can feel the attitude for it. Yeah. Through the chords or whatever they play. I mean, I ain't technical when it comes to music and that. I'm just a singer, but yeah, I'm lucky because I'm surrounded by musicians that are doing that shit. You know what I mean? I'm not telling them what to play. I tell them, you play what you want. You're happy with what you're playing, then give it to me. I'll spit on it, mate. Yeah. But I always tell all our bands, you got to be happy with what you're putting out. Don't let no one else tell you what to do. Like, it's your music, you know. Yeah. It's your CD, your artwork, your ideas. Put it down, you know. How you envision it will help you make it. Yeah. If you don't know how to do it, then come talk to us. We got people that can help you, but we ain't gonna get them to do it for you. Yeah. Because you should be the one to decide what goes on your cover, what songs you write, how you write them, how you want to record it. You know. Yeah. Nowadays it's a lot easier with technology, but on the other hand, obviously all the production's going to sound the same because everyone's using the same software and the same methods of recording and that, but it's just spending big money. Back then obviously it was more of an analogue recording thing, you know, so you had to pay a bit more money to go into certain studios and spend the time and that, but I guess on the other hand, all the recordings sounded a bit different as well, especially with our styles, and in them days we didn't know nothing about recording. That was the beginning of the learning process of studios and shit for us as well, so you know, we might not have done things right, or we were learning how to do other things, and I think all of those factors kind of made the music sound, like you were saying, have that unique sort of London thing about it. But we're blessed. I feel very lucky. I'm surrounded by a lot of talented people that I've known for years and that's still doing it, so they're still enjoying it. Not that many. Yeah. I think we've been there like 3 times. Yeah, and played maybe 2 or 3 shows each time or something. Yeah. So it's not really. Yeah, it's we never really had too many opportunities to go out there and tour, to be honest.
Yeah.
Playing this as hardcore was a great opportunity anyway. And Tsunami Fest, we played Tsunami Fest as well. That was good for us. Played in Brooklyn, a show there one time. Played with bands like Irate, Sworn Enemy, Billy Club, No Redeeming, Social Venue, Everybody Gets Hurt. Just mad lineups that nowadays, when you think about it, you're just like, well, if that happened nowadays, there'd be fucking murders, you know what I mean? But in them days, these were bands probably on our level as well, just coming up in that time and era. So, yeah, luckily we all got on. From them guys coming over to Europe and that, you know, obviously coming to England, then they'd meet us. Yeah. We'd play in the same bills because there'd be no one else. We helped them out with places to stay and whatnot, and yeah, they just returned the favour. I got a feeling it was through Matty Bar and stuff. They must have got wind of a Divide demo or something, and because they loved Divide back then, like, and introduced it to the rest of us, and I'm not sure, maybe I would have invited them down for a festival or something, as I was always doing, you know what I mean? Once I found a band that I liked, I'd just get them on a bill with us down here and that, and they'd return the favour, and then it just clicked really, the relationship just clicked. I mean, because I think we went up there, we done a little tour with Special Move, 50 Caliber, Knuckledust, like in the early days, and we went up there, Glasgow, Edinburgh, and somewhere else, and just hanging out with the Divide guys. After that was it. We were just friends, you know what I mean?
Finally, someone that isn't vegan straight edge will actually get pissed. Or try and outdrink you at every opportunity.
You know, mate, they're mad, innit? They just don't stop drinking. No. Never seen nothing like it until I went out there. And in the early days, we couldn't understand what the fuck they were saying, you know what I mean? Like, now I can understand them. Like, their accents are quite strong as it is. They are. But at first, I'd be like, he'd be talking to me and I'd just be like this. And he's going to be, you don't know what I'm saying, do you? And I was like, I didn't even understand that. You know? But they're good guys, man. I love them guys. We've been lucky. I mean, the 12 bar probably played a big role in that because you know we couldn't lose that venue. They backed us big time, like Barnet Mark and that. With them guys there, they love the shit. They love seeing like our bands play and kids getting crazy in that place. They're into that, you know, coming from like the old football like scene and whatnot. So I mean, when everything else was dying, obviously we'd have plenty of nights down there that weren't really that well attended and stuff, you know, and we wouldn't make much money for the bands, but you know, generally we weren't making much money at the 12 bar anyway because the rents were high and we were taking like, I don't know, not even 50% of the income on the door. Most of the money was going to the venue, but it didn't bother us, you know. We was open with the bands, telling them, you know, we can't give you much money, but we'll give you what we can. But people were happy. Once they played it, they were like, nah mate, we'll come back anytime. You know? So it just worked out. And I think that definitely helped because when everything else was quiet elsewhere, then you could always rely on a 12 bar night in central London, which is rare already at that time. Come down and see new bands that you're going to find something you like. So it definitely helped.
Because, like, is 12 bar coming back? So I saw every now and then, like, that news story seems to pop up, like, it's possibly coming back, but no.
It won't come back. It's just people taking the piss, innit? It won't come back. You know, after we did the 12 bar there, we moved to, they bought another place in Holloway Road. And, we went over with them. Started doing shows there, but it just weren't the same. It didn't work out the same. You know, it's nowhere near central. The venue had a noise limiter on it as well, so you couldn't really get the best kind of gig. And it slowly died off.
Never forget where you come from. You were born in the gutter. In the fucking gutter. Got out.
Yeah, at the moment we do them every 2 months.
Oh, okay.
So we decided, there's not a real need to do monthly gigs.
Yeah.
There's so many other promoters and shows happening at the moment that it'd just be stupid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, at the time, yeah, there wasn't much else going on, so you know, just to keep things thriving, yeah, we'll be happy to do that. Just to keep ourselves out of trouble as well, you know, give ourselves something to do. But now, yeah, every 2 months seems to be working out alright for us. Up at the Unicorn now.
Oh, is that really? Okay.
Which originally we were doing 3 shows there, and I like the idea of doing 3 shows. I've always liked the idea, you know what I mean? It's difficult sometimes if you've got to pay the venue all the money anyway, but we had a bar deal with the Unicorn originally, so free entry for everyone, which is good, you know. People can come in that wouldn't normally come in, and maybe get into something they you know didn't expect to. Recently they changed their policy a bit, and now we can charge on the door, so only for I think it's a £5 or something we're charging now, and no, just so we can pay the bands.
That's
fair. Something. Yeah. Now, £5 is nothing really.
Yeah, exactly.
Less than a pint.
Exactly, yeah, in London.
Yeah. So yeah, no, we just want to try and help the bands as much as we can, really. I mean, as most of us play in bands, we know what it's like, you know.
Yeah.
And even now, it's a struggle for bands like Knuckledust, even, you know what I mean, sometimes to, you know, cover expenses and stuff, but depends where you go, who you work with. Yeah, just gotta. We do our best.
Yeah.
Best we can for the people that play for us.
Yeah.
No Turning Back were one of the earliest bands we played with on the mainland.
Yeah.
And it always seemed like, at the time, we were playing a similar style of music. We were into the same sort of bands or whatever. But we always seemed to choose the same cover song. So whenever we played the same bill, whoever was playing first and they played that cover song, then the other man would be like, oh shit, we're covering the same song. And like, this is just, like, every time it was just like, you know. So yeah, we were good mates anyway. A lot of them boys used to smoke a lot as well, and yeah, we was hanging out, you know. Them days in Holland and Belgium, there's a lot of shit going on in Germany, innit? So we always playing festivals together. And yeah, still to this day, man, we're tight, you know what I mean? We're fam. And Surge of Fury, I remember bumping into them once. The first time must have been at Magazine 4 in Brussels. I went to see a show, what was it? We must have been playing, I think, for me to be there. But anyway, I'm just in the crowd or whatever. See this crew of guys there, you know what I mean? You can see they were together because they were like just there in one part of the venue. There's quite a lot of them as well. So I just went up to them and started talking to them or whatever. Maybe asking them if they had a Rizzler or something. And yeah, they were just friendly, man. Just started chatting to them, and from that moment on, we just clicked, you know what I mean? And then I realised they were playing in Surge of Fury as well, so I got to check them out and loved it. And same thing, you know, just whenever we were out on the circuit in Europe and that, we'd be bumping into each other and playing. And those guys are so down to earth, and you know, the realists, so it's just comfortable to work with them all the time and just hang out with them, man. They're our boys. And then yeah, with the Eruption opportunity came up to put out their CDs, they were happy to do it. Yeah. And yeah, we were chuffed, mate. Big band for us. Surge of Fury, definitely. A very inspirational Belgian hardcore band. And Belgium at that time was just teeming with bands. Yeah. You know, with the H8000 scene and then other scenes and the Flemish parts, and there was just activity that constantly in them days. But yeah, they're still around now, still playing, so you know, goes to show you, they're still killing it. But yeah, that was definitely a good move for us, having like a band like that in Europe representing Eruption as well. So you know, they're gonna push up the rest of our bands out there and bring attention. Same with Stout as well. So we ended up going to Baltimore a couple of times. 9 Bar went out there, Knuckledust went out there, and yeah, they always treated us well, took care of us, and yeah, people like the music more importantly. Yeah. So it's definitely worked out. Sometimes I forget how much or how far we've reached with our bands and our musics and stuff, but I think overall, the way I feel that people, when they say it to me, is it's our reputation for putting out consistently good. Maybe good's not the the right word for it, but consistently London sounding music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It might not be good, it might not be bad, but we don't give a fuck. We're doing our own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's definitely London. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, not including the bands from outside, but when it comes to Rucktion, it's a London label, and you know that's how we made our name, putting out the London bands and stuff, UK bands. But yeah, our reputation for that, I think people really appreciate and understand it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's there now from 98 to now. It's like history, you know what I mean? In stone now, so anyone wants to look into it, it's there. You can find it somewhere now. Especially easier now that we're putting it all on Spotify for people to get it in their ears. But yeah, man, we just really just changed what we were doing. I mean, even from day one, we're still selling the CDs for the same price that we were selling them back in '98 or whatever. Yeah. Even though inflation, costs and whatever means it's more expensive to produce and whatnot, and they don't sell so much or whatever. But you know, we don't give a fuck. It's a promotion thing. Yeah. It's good for the bands as well to experience having a CD out with the artwork and stuff. You know, it's nice to hold, and you know, you should be proud of that. I tell you what, the best festivals used to be the old Pressure Fest that used to do in Germany. Yeah. Because for a start, all day you'd have bands that you wanted to see each and every one of. You know what I mean? The brutal sounding ones. You know what I mean? And that area of Germany as well, as they call it, the bolo style or whatever, the violent dancing. Yeah, it was big over there, innit? Yeah. And the big man's over there in Germany as well, dancing crazy. So yeah, it was just anything went. You know what I mean? Yeah. The violent shows, and yeah, it was always good to play there because you know, coming from the UK, you don't know what to expect, but they always treat us really well and always invited us back, and you know, ended up supporting a lot of the Rucktion bands as well with their festival. But yeah, I remember that with great fondness. Obviously, EPA Festival was great for us as well, like, because just the range of people there as well, and they all supported us, and all the organisers and everything, you know what I mean? They always really helped us a lot. We appreciate that. So those are some of my favourite gigs. But yeah, besides that, obviously This Is Hardcore was a big thing for us. Yeah. Now it's playing Philly, shared the stage with all those bands as well. Yeah. And definitely Philadelphia, Pennsylvania I should say, we played for our boys out there at Tsunami Fest. And that's special for us as well, because obviously they're crew and family to us as well, like members of Wisdom in Chains and Mushmouth and all them boys from back in the day. We've always been tight, you know, since we met each other, and to go out there, it's just like a family gathering. Yeah. So definitely means the most to us. Just we can get to hang out with family and that. I can think, for some reason, straight away I can think of the bands I don't want to tour with. And it's not even because of the music that they play, it's just because they're nuts. Yeah. They're nuts, and you know, they should be fighting random people, there'll be fights every night and shit, and you know, it gets a bit long sometimes. It's funny at the time, but yeah, when you're touring, it just makes things hard work. But we're easy, man. I don't know if you met the rest of the Knuckledust guys or spent any time talking to them. You know how they are. They're cheeky cockneys, you know. They have a good time. Yeah. They talk to anyone. They are. You get what you know what I mean. Yeah. They are who they are, and we're happy to tour with anyone. To be honest, you know, as long as these people are relaxed and you know, sincere. Yeah. And we're good with anyone. Trust me. We've been on tour with so many bands. I hope they think that of us, you know, and say, oh yeah, Knuckledust are an easygoing band, and you know, they're not dickheads. Not really, not nowadays. Maybe back in the days we used to use the Crow's Nest a lot. I mean, Knuckledust always had their own studios and whatnot hooked up via the labels that were putting out the CDs at the time, I guess, you know. And we were just trying something different as well. But yeah, the Crow's Nest recorded a lot of the Rucktion CDs in the early days. Yeah. There was another place as well, where was it? I think it was in Brentwood. We used this place, a couple of our bands used to go there, and that was all analogue recordings. But nowhere really we kind of stuck to
Yeah.
exclusively, but nowadays there's good places everywhere, so
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, we've had plans for the last 5 years to do something. I guess we'll continue having them plans until something materialises. But yeah, the guys are up for it. It's just when the time comes. We're getting offers to play in Sheffield. The Malevolence boys, they're always asking us up, but we just can't manage it. You know what I mean? It's either I can't get the time off, or it just won't work for us that date.
Yeah.
But they've always been like offering us shows, like, and good guys. We support them greatly and appreciate their offers.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll make it happen at one point. Trust me, we've got to play together up there.
Yeah.
I love going up north, mate. Yeah, going down Curry Mile. Go up Glasgow. Yeah, I'll be up for going Glasgow again. We've had some offers as well that haven't quite worked out. Yeah, but yeah, we'll make it happen at one point.
Yeah.
Probably all in the same weekend. Makes sense, innit?
Yeah, true.
Work our way up there and then come back down. But yeah, we'll get there. But
Good.
at the moment, I just want to get some new music out there, because
Yeah.
at the moment it just feels like we're in bands and we're not releasing anything. It's like